द्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय राधिकायै प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायण तिलामिने श्रीकृष्णलीला कथने सुदक्षम् औदार्य माधुर्य गुणैश्च युक्तम् वरं वरेण्यं पुरुषं महन्तं नारायणं तं शिरसा नमामि। त्रिदण्डिनां भक्तशिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपदाब्जधृतैकरुधिर् चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसारं नारायणं तं शिरसा नमामि। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। First of all, offer my millions of obeisances the lotus feet of Asmade Guru Pad Padma Nityala Prashta Jagat Guru Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Randy Swami Shishya Bhaktivedanta Reddy Maharaj, Naam Vishnu Santa Shri Aniruddha Das Prabhuji, all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas who are gathered here, please accept my humble obeisances. So we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. Nigamakalpataror Garidam Phalam Shukamukadamritadrava Samyutam Tigata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Mukuratura Sikave Bhavuka. Now, yesterday we discussed the glories of hearing Harikatha, and we are coming to the verse number 14. Tasma ekena manasa Bhagavan Satvatam Pati Shrotavya Kirtitavyasya Eyapitasya Nityada. अतः श्री हरि को प्रसन्न करने के लिए सदा सर्वदा एकांत चित्त से कर्म ज्ञानादि के अनुष्ठान की चंचलता को त्याग कर धर्म अर्थ काम और मोक्ष की कामना की गंध से भी रहित होकर सर्वप्रथम श्री गुरुमुख से भक्त वत्सल भगवान श्री हरि की कथाओं का श्रवण करना चाहिए. Now it is told that one should try to please Lord Hari, and one should always, with one pointed heart, give up following fruity activities and pursuit of impersonal knowledge. Basically, one should not be interested in fruity activity and also impersonal knowledge. And one should also not hanker for following dharma. What is dharma? That dharma is na dharmam na dharmam kritigana niruktam kulati Raje Radha Krishnam Prachura Paricharyam Nihetale Shachi Sunam Nandishwara Patisudatve Guruvaram Mukunda Prishtatva Paramayasya Smarana. If you follow religious activities, you'll go to heaven. And if you follow religious activities, you'll go to hell. Don't try to go to heaven or don't try to go to hell. Perform devotional service to Radha Krishna. Now, how devotional service to Radha Krishna is done? Then it is explained that one time Radharani was not allowed to meet Krishna. So when Radharani was not allowed to meet Krishna, Radharani was hankering and separation of Krishna, and Krishna is also suffering too much due to inability to meet Radharani. When Krishna told Subal, my dear Subal, I will never be able to live without Radharani. Do something so that Radharani, I will be able to meet Radharani. Then Subal said, all right. He went to the house of Jatila, Radharani's mother-in-law, and Kutila, Radharani's sister-in-law. So Jatila said, hey, you are a friend of Krishna. Why you have come here? Are you up to some mischief? He said, no, I am not up to any mischief. Hey, you are a friend of Krishna. He said, no, I have given up friendship with Krishna. I am no more friend with Krishna. We fell apart. All right. Then why you have come here? Oh, my calf has entered your Goshala. I want to recover my calf. All right, go quickly and bring your calf. And so he came inside and he went to Radharani. Radharani also said, oh, my mother-in-law is not letting me meet Krishna. So then they exchanged the dresses. Subal dressed like uh, blouse and all. And Radharani wearing the dhoti and kurta of Subal. So Radharani looked like Krishna, Subal, when he dressed like female, then he look like Radharani. Radharani dressed like a dhoti and kurta, will be look like Subal. They are so identical. So Radharani said, everything is fine, but how about my breast? And Subal, that for that purpose, the calf is there. You carry the calf uh, at your chest, and no one will know you are not Subal. Radharani took the calf and left. Jatila said, oh, you got your calf. And Radharani said, who? And left. And then Subal was inside. inside, and then Jatila is asking, daughter-in-law, are you cooking food? The Subal cannot say anything. He said, no. This, because he speaks, he'll be recognized. Obviously, Subal can also speak in voice of Radharani. But he was saying, who? Are you making chapatis? Who? Are you making dalia? Daughter-in-law? Who? Are you cooking rice? Who? Then he said, why our daughter-in-law is not speaking at all? Huh? Because Jatila doesn't know that daughter-in-law is gone to meet Krishna. And Subal is actually enacting the pastime of Radharani. So then she called Yoga Maya Purnamasi Devi. In Vrindavan, anyone has any problem, they call Purnamasi Devi. No pastime of Krishna is complete without Purnamasi Devi. So Purnamasi came and she said, she immediately saw Subal and said, hey Subal, how are you here? Huh? Wearing blouse and petticoat. I said, oh, this is what happened. All right, please help me now, Purnamasi Devi, to get out of this place. Then Purnamasi came to Jatila and Jatila said, Jatila, your daughter-in-law is affected by one powerful demigod has affected. But he is not going to harm your daughter-in-law. But that demigod lives under one Kadamba tree in Kadamba Khandi, in the forest of Kadamba trees. So there, your daughter-in-law has to be taken away. And there, I'll chant some mantras and try to pacify that demigod who's causing your, their daughter-in-law to speak only like this. But he said, but you don't have to come with me because that demigod doesn't like widows. Because Jatila is also widow and Kutila is also widow. So I will go there, and I have my husband alive. So Purnamasi Devi said, I will go. Anyways, Purnamasi took Subala there, and somehow or the other, Subal was reunited with Krishna, and Radharani also came back, and she brought Radharani back. So in this way, he tried to engage in such process. Try to aspire to engage, to aspire for such, seeing such pastimes. No need of following any mundane dharma to go to heaven with that. Because even if you go to heaven, you will not be able to see such sweet pastimes of Radha Krishna. So earth also. Don't hanker for earth also. Wealth. So, one bhajan. Nana Mora Nityananda Pati Mura Gaura Chandra Advaita Acharya Murabala. They said Dhana Mora Nityananda Pati Mura Gaura Chandra. That my real wealth is lotus feet of Nityananda. Nitai Padaka Mala Koti Chandra Sushitala Echaya Jagat Juraya. He told Mora Nityananda Pati Mora Gaura Chandra Prana Mora Judala Kishore. My wealth is lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. My master is Gaura Chandra and Jugala Kishore. And I really like this Google Kishore, the divine person. Radha Krishna is now Rana Mora Nityananda Pati Indra Rana Mora Kishora And about Kama also. Kama means self-gratification. And moksha means liberation. So one should not even enter for Nastha dharmena vasuli naiva kama bhoge. I'm not interested in collecting money. Nastha dharmena. Vasuli che. I don't want to collect wealth. I don't want to engage self-gratification. Ranya Rama Amrit Matan Nandini Bhagavani. I don't want to enjoy the moment of the Natan. I don't even want liberation. So basically, we should not even enter for liberation. As long as there is a desire for liberation in the heart, bhakti cannot run. Bhakti Vishwayava Pishachi Vivartate Tavad Bhakti Sukhasyatra Tatum Abhyudaya Bhave Shri Krishna Charanamudaya Sevam Vrita Chetasam Esham Mokshaya Bhaktanam Nakadachi Spruha Bhave. So one should give up even desire for liberation, and first we should hear the pastimes of Bhagavan Shri Hari, who is very merciful to the devotees from the lips of Gurudev. तत्पश्चात उन कथाओं का कीर्तन एवं हरि विषय स्मरण करना चाहिए. Then we should perform the kirtan of pastimes of Lord Hari, and we should remember Hari. Smartavya satanam Vishnu na vismartavya jati chit sarvavihi nishedaya ekasya eva kindara. Always remember Lord Hari and do some service. Do some service. Actually, one time there was one sadhu, and there was one rich man. That rich man invited one sadhu, come to my home, I'll give you nice prasad. That rich man was chanting Ram Ram, and he said, I will stay in the house of this rich man for a long time. And he lived there and he died there, taking food given by this rich man. But he didn't do any service, so he ended up becoming a bull. He became a bull actually. So, but when he became a bull, he's still not working in the field because he had no habit of working from past life. So when sadhu came there and the rich man told that I have a one bull but doesn't work in it, an ox who doesn't do any work. Then he said, I will talk to him in alone. And then he told that bull, he said, you were a sadhu in past life, you ate so much food given by this rich man, you had never habit of doing any seva. So now you have become a bull. And if you don't do service now, again and again, you'll have to become bull. So right now you do service nicely and absolve the debt of this rich man. Whatever food you have eaten from him for so many years, let it come out. When that food will come out, then you will again become human being and you will go to the abode of Lord Ram. Otherwise, you cannot go to the abode of Lord Ram. So then from that day onwards, that bull started working very hard. And because he was actually a sadhu in past life who had enjoyed so much good stuff from this rich man. So therefore, if we don't do seva, the Guru Dev Vaishnavas, then we'll have to become bull. So basically, we should try to do a lot of hard work, lot of seva. Singing garland, this, that, everything service, food distribution, preaching, collection, sabji viksha, whatever service we can do. And not, become a burden on Guru Dev or Vaishnavas. Otherwise, you'll have to become a bull, like that sadhu. So, ऐसा होने पर भजनीय वस्तु श्री हरि का पूजा रूप में नित्य ही अनुशीलन संभव है. So, भजनीय वस्तु means Shri Hari. For service. We are trying to worship Lord Hari. So, we try to युक्ता कर्म ग्रंथि निबंधनम छिंदन्ति भोक्तास्तस्य विवेक के अभाव में हरि कथा का श्रवण कीर्तन स्मरण आदि न कर जीव अपने को माया का भोक्ता मान लेता है. into the absence of discrimination, this was discrimination. Living entity doesn't want to uh, hear pastime Hari, doesn't want to recite the pastimes of Shri Hari, and doesn't want to remember the pastimes of Shri Hari. The living entity considers himself to be the enjoyer of Maya. यदनुध्यासिना युक्ता कर्म ग्रंथि बंधनम छिन्नन्ति कोविदास्तस्य पूर्णत्वात् तथापि। किंतु जिन भगवान के नित्य निरंतर स्मरण रूप खड्ग तलवार से विवेकी गण अहंकार जनक फल भोगमयी समस्त कर्मों की गांठों का छेदन कर डालते हैं, ऐसे भगवान की कथा में किसकी रुचि नहीं होगी। बट those who have developed a sense of discrimination, what they will do? They will always remember Bhagwan, continuously remember Bhagwan, and they will cut all the knots of karma. Basically, knots of karma accumulate due to false ego, ahankara. When we say Namaha, Namaha Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayati Namine. Na means not. Ma means false ego. So basically, giving up false ego. That I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am the controller. If you have false ego, then so many knots of karma will manifest in the karma. So, what are the knots of karma? The desire to enjoy the results of one's actions. Bhaktaram yajya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram srudam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shanti mrichati. But know that Krishna is the enjoyer of all results. We are not the enjoyers. We are not the enjoyers. Keep Krishna in the center. Otherwise, so many knots of karma will manifest in the heart. So there is one book by Swami Maharaj, Sword of Renunciation, Sword of Discrimination. So we have to cut all the knots in the heart. What happens? How the knots manifest? Bhagavatam explained. They are granted. Right? When a young boy embraces a young girl and young girl embraces a young boy, then a knot forms in their heart. Understand? It's very difficult to cut these knots. So who will not develop taste for Bhagwan's pastimes? So the Bhagwan pastimes are like sword, which will cut our attachments. When we hear Krishna's pastimes, all our attachments will go. What type of pastimes? Very sweet pastimes. For example, Radha Krishna are floating in Jamuna water, and Krishna is splashing water on Radharani's face, and Radharani is also splashing water on Krishna's face. Krishna is like a wrestler. In Mathura, everyone is like a wrestler. Well, bodybuilders. So Krishna is very strong. With his strong arms, he's splashing water on the face of Radharani. Radharani is feeble, so Radharani lost. And what was the condition? If Radharani lost, then whoever is lost will have to let the opposite party drink the nectar of lips. So Radharani lost, and then now Krishna has to drink the nectar of Radharani's lips. Radharani turns her back to Krishna, and she doesn't want Krishna to taste her lips. So some or the other, Krishna tried to catch Radharani. And Radharani, she tells Krishna, no. Anyways, then again competition takes place. This time, all the Sakhis helped Radharani. When Krishna won, no Sakhi said anything. Only Krishna said, I won, I won, I won. But Radharani and all the Sakhis, now Krishna was alone, because no males are allowed there, no Sakhas are allowed there. When water sports takes place. So all the Manjaris, Sakhis and Radharani, they splash water on Krishna. So Krishna alone, how much can protest? Krishna lost. But anyway, nothing, no loss for Krishna, because whoever is lost has to, he can drink the nectar of lovers' lips. So Krishna was very happy. Anyways, so somehow Krishna was drinking the lips of Radharani. Yes. And then Krishna saw the beautiful eyes of Radharani, which were covered with mascara. That's it. And he kissed the eyes of Radharani. Then Radharani saw that Krishna's lips are black. So Radharani began to smile. Cheeks were smiling. Krishna kissed on cheeks of Radharani. Radharani's cheeks became black in color. Then the Sakhis told, oh, very nice. Radharani's face is like moon, and this particular Krishna is kissing the cheeks of Radharani, and now the black color has come on the cheeks of Radharani. So it is like Radharani's face is like a moon, because moon also has black spots. So this is very nice. The devotees will remember such pastimes as per their adhikar. They are very, very sweet pastimes, or acharyas have described. And Swami are remembering such pastimes as they are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, Shrisho Shattadhanasya Vasudeva Katharuchi Syama Sevaya Vipra Punyatirathami Sevana. ये शवनकारी ऋषि विष्णु तीर्थ भगवत भक्तों की अधिष्ठित भूमि की परिक्रमा तथा सद्गुरु और कृष्ण भक्तों की सेवा से ही साधु गुरु एवं शास्त्र की रचना में श्रद्धा है. So here, Sutta Goswami is telling Shavalak and great sages. Vishnu Tirtha. Should circumambulate Vishnu Tirtha. What is the Vishnu Tirtha? Where the devotees are situated. Like when we do parikrama to Vrindavan, then we are circumambulating all the devotees. The devotees living in Anandha, devotees living in Radhe Kunja, devotees living in Radha Raman Temple, devotees living in Kushnath Godi Amad, all the devotees were circumambulated. Any sampradaya, all sampradaya, Devasi Brahmana. That's why parikrama is very, very important. Very, very important. And Sadguru और कृष्ण भक्तों की सेवा से ही we should render service to bona fide master and a devotee of Krishna. When we render service to spiritual master and devotee of Krishna, then we will develop faith in the words of the saintly persons, spiritual master and scriptures. We should try to do parikrama to the holy Dham, the devotee will say. ऐसे श्रद्धावान जन जब भगवत कथा को श्रवण करने के अभिलाषी होते हैं तो उनकी भगवान से वासुदेव में रुचि उत्पन्न. The persons who have faith, they desire to hear the pastimes of Bhagavan. Who will want to hear the pastimes of Bhagavan? Those who have faith, they only want to hear. Those who have no faith, how they will want to hear the pastimes of Bhagavan? So, Shraddhavan jana hai bhakti adhikari. Those who have Shraddha, they will want to hear pastimes of Sri Krishna. तब उनकी भगवान श्री वासुदेव में रुचि हो जाती. When we desire to hear Hari Katha, even before we hear Hari Katha, even if we desire to hear Hari Katha, one will develop taste for Shri Vasudeva. Shunhatam Sakatha Krishna Punyashravana Kirtana Rudyantosto hi abhadrani vidunoti surikatam. श्री कृष्ण के नामों का श्रवण और कीर्तन सभी को पवित्र करने वाला है. Right? Bhagavan is called Jai Shravana Mangala Namadhana. When we hear sweet names of Sri Krishna and when we perform the kirtan of names of Sri Krishna, they purify everyone. Like what type of kirtan? Bolo Hari Hari Mukunda Murari Rama Krishna Hayagriva Narsingha Vamana Shri Madhusudana Brajendra Nandana Syama Putana Ghatana Kaitavashatana जय दशरथी राम। बोलो हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी। राम कृष्ण हयग्रीव। वे श्री कृष्ण अपनी अप्राकृत लीला कथा अथवा नाम गुण श्रवण करने वाले के हृदय में अंतर्यामी चैत्य गुरु के रूप में विराजित होकर हृदय की पाप वासनाओं को समूल नष्ट कर डाला। So it is told that Bhagavan is present in the heart of all living entities as indwelling super soul. Inside Guru, there is also something called Guru who is residing in our heart called Chaitya Guru, Antarjami, indwelling super soul. Because Bhagavan is present in the heart, Bhagavan will see from within. If someone is discussing transcendental pastimes of Sri Krishna, or someone is listening to the name, form, qualities and pastimes of Sri Krishna, so when we hear Hari Katha or the qualities of Sri Krishna about his holy name, what Bhagavan will do? Bhagavan will become situated in the heart of such a person as the indwelling super soul. And he will completely uproot all the desires, sins and material desires from that person's heart. क्योंकि वे साधु के एकमात्र नित्य हितैषी है. Because Bhagavan is the only well-wisher of the sadhus. Really speaking, Bhagavan is only well-wisher of us. In this material world, who's really our friend? There is actually no one is our friend. That Sruhudam Sarvabhutanam Jatva Mam Shanti Bhuktaram Ekatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sruhudam Sarvabhutanam. Know that Bhagavan is our eternal well-wisher. Have no doubt about it. Bhagavan is our eternal well-wisher. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्ति भगवती नैष्ठिकी. नित्य निरंतर श्रीमद् भागवत की श्रवण कीर्तनारूप सेवा. Every day we should have a class on Srimad Bhagavatam. We should listen to Srimad Bhagavatam. We should glorify Srimad Bhagavatam. And also we should serve a devotee of Bhagavan, a high class devotee of Bhagavan. If we serve him, what will happen? All our desires will go. Most of our material desires, they are Ashubha. Ashubha means inauspicious. But by rendering service to the book Bhagavad, by listening to Srimad Book Bhagavad, and by rendering service to the devotee Bhagavad, what will happen? All our inauspicious desires will go away from the heart. No doubt about it. तब मनुष्य में पुरुषोत्तम श्री कृष्ण के प्रति अचला भक्ति हो. So when all your auspicious desires have vanished from the heart, one will develop achala bhakti. Achala means steady devotion for Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Bhagavan Sri Krishna is addressed here as Purushottam, best of the. Purusha means person, but Bhagavan is superior than even Vishnu. There are three Purushas: Garbhadasha Vishnu, Karanadaksha Vishnu, Shrodakasha Vishnu. But Sri Krishna is superior even to the Vishnu. He is superior even to Ram, Narayan. Brajendra Shyamsundar Krishna is superior than even Dwarkadish. By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, one will develop attachment for Brajendra Shyamsundar Krishna. One will develop resolute devotion for Brajendra Shyamsundar Krishna. Tadarajas-tamo bhava kamalobha dayashte chete tairanavitham स्थितम सत्वे प्रसीदति. जिस समय नष्टि की भक्ति उदित होती है, उस समय रजोगुण और तमोगुण से उत्पन्न भजन में विघ्न डालने वाले छह शक्ति काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, मद और मात्सर्य जात रति भक्तों को आवृत नहीं कर पाते, क्योंकि उसका मन शुद्ध सत्व में निमग्न होने के कारण दुष्संग से प्रभावित नहीं होता. So bhakti is also two types, as we developed discussed in Madhuri Kadambini, that resolute devotion, irresolute devotion. So when one has developed resolute devotion, Nashtiki bhakti, then there are 6 enemies. What are our 6 enemies? Lust, anger, greed, illusion, bewilderment, enviousness. All these 6 enemies manifest from mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. But a devotee who has developed rati or stage of bhava, rati means ecstatic love, then these 6 enemies cannot cover the devotee. Because the devotee's mind is fixed in pure goodness, Shuddha Satya, not adulterated goodness. In this material world, mode of goodness is also adulterated with mode of passion and ignorance. But the devotee's mind becomes steady in Shuddha Satya, pure goodness. So therefore, when the devotee's mind is fixed in pure goodness, he is not affected by bad association. इस प्रकार शुद्ध निर्मल जीवात्मा दुर्गति को प्राप्त न करके हरि सेवामय चित्त वृत्ति में अवस्थित होकर प्रसन्न हो जाता है. So in this way, the living entity who is very pure, he does not meet bad destination. Rather, he becomes situated in service to Lord Hari, and he becomes happy. एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवत भक्ति योगता भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संघस्य चायते. इस प्रकार प्रत्येक क्षण भगवान श्री कृष्ण का आसक्ति पूर्वक भजन करने से साधक का प्रशांत चित्त आनंद से भर जाता. So the practitioner's peaceful heart becomes filled with joy. When the devotee is engaging in the devotional service of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, every moment with great attachment, then the peaceful heart of the sadhaka becomes filled with bliss. तथा कामादि वासनाओं से रहित हो जाता है. And he becomes completely free from the material desires like lust and all. तदुपरांत श्री भगवान में प्रेम में भक्ति योग का उदय होने पर साधक को भगवान और उनकी समस्त शक्तियों का विज्ञान अर्थात साक्षात अनुभूति है. Thereafter, loving bhakti yoga will manifest for Bhagavan. The sadhaka will have direct realization of Bhagavan and all his potencies. विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथिस् छिद्यन्ते सर्व संशया क्षीयन्ते चास्य कर्माणि दृष्टैवात्मनीश्वरे. इस प्रकार आत्माओं की आत्मा भगवान के स्वरूप का साक्षात्कार होने पर उस भगवत तत्ववेत्ता के हृदय की गांठ अर्थात चित जड़ ग्रंथन रूप अहंकार नष्ट हो जाता. So one should realize Bhagavan, who is the soul of all the souls. He is called super soul. Bhagavan is the soul of all the souls. So one has realized the Swarupa of Bhagavan, then the knot of heart of the person who has understood the truth about Bhagavan will be cut. What is that knot? That is actually a knot between the dull matter and spirit. It means the false ego is actually destroyed. असंभवादि संदेह रज्जु छिन्न भिन्न हो जाता. So there are many ropes of doubt which are bound our heart. Like, this is impossible. How can one go to Golok Vrindavan or Vaikuntha? how this is possible. Some many times we have doubts. We doubt that this is impossible, that is impossible. But when one realizes the nature of Bhagwan, Swarup of Bhagwan, to the soul of all souls, then all the ropes of doubt are cut asunder. And the bondage of duty activity is also slackened. Hmm. अतो हि कवयो नित्यं भक्तिं परमया मुदा वासुदेवे भगवती कुर्वन्त्यात्म प्रसादिनम् इसलिए बुद्धिमान व्यक्ति निश्चय अति आनंद पूर्वक नित्य निरंतर भगवान श्री वासुदेव की भक्ति प्रेममय सेवा करते रहते हैं. Therefore, what is the sign of an intelligent person? A person is really considered intelligent if he is very happily and regularly renders loving devotional service to Bhagavan Vasudeva. Such a person is indeed intelligent. Why a person who renders devotional service is intelligent? Because such devotion satisfies one's soul and also the soul of Bhagavan, super soul. सत्वं रजस्तम इति प्रकृतिर्गुणास्तिर्युक्ता परः पुरुष एक इहास्य दत्ते इत्यादि हरेति सज्ञा श्रेयांसि तत्र खलु सत्वतनोर्नृणां स्युः. सत्व रज और तम ये तीन प्रकृति के गुण हैं. It is told that the mode of goodness, mode of passion and mode of ignorance, these are the three qualities of material nature. इन तीनों गुणों के अधीश्वर रूप में एक परम पुरुष तुरीय, तीनों गुणों से अतीत श्री नारायण अपनी माया शक्ति के द्वारा इस विश्व का पालन, उत्पत्ति और ध्वंस करने के लिए क्रमशः विष्णु, ब्रह्मा और शिव के नाम धारण करते हैं. This material world does not have million controllers. Supreme controller is only one. He is the supreme personality of Godhead, Sriman Narayana. Sri Narayana is called Turiya. Turiya means he is beyond the three modes of material nature. One is beyond the three modes of material nature, such a person is called Turiya. So, Bhagavan, Sri Narayana, he maintains this world, he creates this material world, and he analyzes this material world through the agency of his Maya Shakti. विष्णु स्थिति प्रलय साधन शक्ति विका छाये वयस्य भुवनानि विवर्ति दुर्गा इच्छा निरूपम प्रियस्य सचेष्ट तेसा गोविंदमादि पुरुषम तमाम. The Maya Shakti of Bhagavan creates, maintains and analyzes this material world. So Bhagavan, in order to create, maintain and analyze this material world, using his Maya Shakti or visionary potency, he assumes three names, respectively Brahma, Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva. Bhagavan accepts three names. Narayana himself becomes Vishnu to maintain this material world. Narayana himself becomes Brahma to create this material world. And Narayana himself becomes Shiva to analyze this material world. इनमें से सत्वगुण के विग्रह वासुदेव श्री विष्णु ही भक्तों का अभिलषित मंगल करते हैं, ब्रह्मा और शिव नहीं. Now there are three deities, Vishnu, Brahma and Shiva. The question will come, who should be worshipped? Now there are three, we are telling there are three personalities. So among these three, who is most beneficial? Then Sutta Goswami is telling that Lord Vishnu, Vasudeva Shri Vishnu, who is the embodiment of mode of goodness, he alone bestows auspiciousness on the devotees. Brahma and Shiva do not do so. अतः अन्य देवताओं की उपासना को छोड़कर एकमात्र भगवान श्री वासुदेव की ही उपासना करनी चाहिए. So we should certainly give up the worship of other demigods like Brahma and Shiva, and then we should worship then we should worship Vishnu. It is told like that. But then again, we see that there are many temples of Lord Shiva. Like Lucknow, there's new center which we opened. There is one deity of Lord Shiva downstairs and also across. So why people worship Lord Shiva? The Vaishnavas worship Lord Shiva because he is Gopishwar Mahadev. He is a pure devotee of Krishna. So we don't ask any material things from Lord Shiva. We only ask devotion from him. Understood? And even from Lord Brahma, you can ask devotion. And you can ask devotion from any demigod. Ganesh, you can do pranam to Ganesh and you tell Ganesh, please give me Krishna. But don't ask any material things from the demigods. Only pray to them. You can pray to Krishna in their heart because the indwelling super soul of all demigods is Krishna. You pray to that demigod and say, Bhagavan is sitting in your heart and you are also devotee of Krishna. Please give me Krishna Bhakti. But Hari Deva Sadaradhya Sarva Deveshwarishwara Idaro Brahma Rudradhya Navadhya Katanchana. One should always worship Lord Hari. Hari Deva Sadaradhya Sarva Deveshwarishwara. He is the Lord of all lords. Itare Brahma Rudradhya Navadhya Katanchana. But don't disrespect other demigods like Brahma and Shiva. Don't transgress them. Always pray to them for Krishna Bhakti. Don't criticize demigods, otherwise you'll lose Krishna Bhakti. Parthivardarino dhumas tasmad agni trayi maya tamasastu rajas tasmad satvam yat brahma darshanam. पृथ्वी का रूपांतर चेतनाहीन जड़ लकड़ी प्रकाश से रहित होती है, अतः उससे धुआं श्रेष्ठ है, क्योंकि वह वस्तुता अन्य अल्प मात्र प्रकाशक और धर्म साधक है. So पृथ्वी का रूपांतर चेतनाहीन जड़ लकड़ी प्रकाश से रहित होती है. You see that the earth is transformed into wood. What is the wood made from? How does the tree grow? Certainly tree grows from, you'll see the tree grows from the earth. And wood is nothing but a transformation of earth. अतः उससे धुआं श्रेष्ठ है. Certainly the smoke is superior than the wood, because when you burn the wood, smoke comes. क्योंकि वह वस्तु का अल्पमात्र प्रकाशक और कर्म साधक है. Because by smoke, it eliminates the object to somewhat. It can do the work also. Many times they cook on smoke. So, but superior than smoke is the fire. Because smoke is only the semblance of the real object. But fire is superior than the smoke. क्योंकि वह साक्षात रूप से तीन वेदों में उक्त यज्ञ यागादि के द्वारा सद्गति प्रदाता होने के कारण क्रिया साधक और वस्तु की प्रकाशक. There are three Vedas: Rigveda, Samveda, Yajurveda, and four Vedas. Atharvaveda is also there, but mainly three Vedas. And these three Vedas describe how to perform fire sacrifice. And if you perform the fire sacrifice as per the injunctions of the Vedas, then the fire sacrifice will help you achieve good destination. So the fire will help you achieve your goal. The smoke cannot help you. You cannot perform fire sacrifice or just using smoke. But fire is superior than the smoke. You see that wood is the transformation of earth, but superior than the wood is smoke. When in my childhood, my mother used to heat up the water using wood. First smoke used to come. And slowly, fire used to manifest. And many times my mother's eyes used to be full of tears because it was so much smoke was coming from the wood. So smoke is certainly superior than wood, because when you burn the wood, smoke comes. When smoke is coming here, it will assure that soon fire will come. Then it was our job to take some cardboard and then wave the cardboard so some air will be blown on this particular. Sometimes we used to blow using a iron pipe on this fire so that the fire will flare up nicely. Understand? So superior than wood is smoke and superior than smoke is fire because fire will help you achieve the good destination through yajna, fire sacrifice. And fire will illuminate Bhagwan to you. Many times Bhagwan manifests through fire sacrifice. Bhagwan has many times manifested in Daksha Prajapati's sacrifice also Vishnu manifested from the fire sacrifice. The fire is considered superior than the smoke and wood. इसी प्रकार तमोगुण प्रकाश रहित और लयात्मक है. So mode of ignorance is devoid of light. इसकी अपेक्षा सत्वगुण की निकटता वशता रजोगुण तमोगुण से श्रेष्ठ है. And due to proximity with mode of goodness, the mode of passion is superior than the mode of ignorance. Tamogun means literally the mode of darkness, devoid of light. Tamo means darkness. And it is layatmaka. Layatmaka means, laya means annihilation. The tamogun tends to destroy. Like a lot of people I have seen that they are in mode of ignorance. They simply take something, crowbar in their hand and they destroy. They destroy a building, they destroy a house. The people are funny, mode of ignorance. You know? Actually, there was a person who had parked his two-wheeler outside his house, and some people came and they opened his petrol lid, and then they put a matchstick in it and blew his two-wheeler. Now, what benefit will come to anyone by doing this? So this is, when we are in mode of ignorance, we try to destroy others' property. It is very difficult to create something, but very easy to destroy something. Or we try to set someone's house on fire. So, mode of ignorance is darkness personified, and it destroys everything. But mode of passion is still better, because it is closer to the mode of goodness. Mode of passion is considered a semblance of the mode of goodness, Sattva Bhav. But Sattva Gun will reveal the supreme object, Sri Krishna, even better. There are more chances that you will understand Krishna if you are in mode of goodness than if you are in mode of passion or ignorance. That's why in Krishna consciousness, an attempt is made for devotees to come to the mode of goodness. Means they're told, get up before sunrise, don't sleep too late, don't eat too much spicy food, don't take meat, fish and eggs. Obviously, eating meat, fish and eggs or not eating meat, fish and eggs is nothing to do with bhakti. If you eat meat, fish and eggs, it is not bhakti, and if you don't eat meat, fish and eggs, that is also not bhakti. But it is conducive for bhakti. Because the persons who eat meat, fish and eggs are eating the foodstuffs in mode of ignorance or passion. So they will be covered to that degree. And they will not be able to understand Harikatha. If you are eating meat, Bhagavatam will tell the future verses. Nivruttatarshai upagiyamana baushadashotra manobhiramat kauttama shloka gunanuvadat iman chetna vinapasu. Only the persons who are killing animals and eating meat, fish and eggs, they cannot understand Bhagavan. Everyone else should understand Bhagavan. And Harikatha is very sweet. So therefore, mode of goodness is superior to mode of passion. ब्रह्म के साक्षात रूप गुण के आविर्भाव का द्वार स्वरूप होने के कारण सत्व गुण भगवान के दर्शन कराने वाले. Again, mode of goodness is also not bhakti. It is the gateway to bhakti. Admitted Sharanagati is not bhakti. What is Sharanagati? Anukulyasya sankalpa pratukulyasya vivarjanam rakshishyati vishvaso gopritve varnam tata atmanikshep karpanyo shadvida Sharanagati. Doing activities for bhakti and not doing activities that are unfavorable for bhakti. Having faith that Krishna will protect you. These are all characteristics of Sharanagati, surrender. But that is the foundation of bhakti. That is the basis of bhakti. It is the entrance to bhakti. It is not bhakti yet. So mode of goodness is also an entrance to the manifestation of name, form, qualities and pastimes of Parabrahma Shri Krishna. It is only the door. इसी प्रकार से शिव ब्रह्मादि में विष्णु ही श्रेष्ठ. You see that Vishnu is superior than Shiva and Brahma. Understand? Because just like the mode of goodness is superior to the mode of passion and ignorance, similarly Vishnu is superior than Shiva and Brahma. Vejire munayo athagre bhagavantam adokshajam sattvam vishuddham shemaya kalpante anutaniha. इसलिए प्राचीन काल में सत्व गुण युक्त ऋषि केवल विशुद्ध सत्वमय मूर्ति अप्राकृत वैकुंठाधीश्वर श्री विष्णु की उपासना किया करते. So in ancient times, the sages who are endowed with mode of goodness, they used to worship Bhagavan Vishnu, who is the Lord of Vaikuntha, the transcendental Lord of Vaikuntha. Because Vishnu is the embodiment of pure goodness. अतः इस संसार में जो सौभाग्यवान पुरुष मुनि भजन परायण मुनियों का अनुसरण करते हैं वे भी चरम कल्याण के पात्र बनते. In past, people used to worship Lord Vishnu, and some fortunate persons today, they also follow the activities of the sages in the past, and they also worship Vishnu. Asito devalo vyasa swayam chaiva pravishi me swayam chaiva pravishi me. Arjuna is telling that Asita, Devala, Vyasa, Agastya, Durvasa, Vishwamitra, Vasishta, so many great sages to worship Bhagavan. So fortunate persons should follow in the footsteps of these devotees, sages, and they should worship Lord Vishnu. And they will achieve the topmost welfare by doing so. Nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu durashyaye vairarthamanina yandathande upaniyamana devishapantra urdam nidamta. Many people don't know that welfare. Now Bhagavatam gives us very important advice. मुक्षो पूर्णरूपान् हित्वा भूतपतिम् अथ नारायण कला शान्ता भजन्ति धनशीलया. अपने अनर्थों को दूर करने के इच्छुक लोग असत तृष्णा से रहित होकर शांत भाव से रखते हुए न तो किसी की निंदा करते हुए नहीं किसी की देते हुए. So those who want to give their unwanted benefits, so they become completely free from asat trishna. Asat trishna means hankering for temporary love, beautiful wife, beautiful husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, big house. They are temporary objects. You may have a very pretty wife, but one day she will become very old. She will not be so pretty anymore. Then what will happen? So, one is also like that. There were two brothers, Anil Ambani, Mukesh Ambani. Their father divided the empire, his empire between two brothers. But Mukesh Ambani rose to success, and Anil Ambani was not so successful. He lost a lot of wealth and almost on the verge of bankruptcy, struggling with bankruptcy. You see that wealth is also not permanent. So land also, claiming this land is mine, that means but Madhav Maharaj was telling us. So many kings came and they claimed this is my land, this is my tract of land, that is my tract of land. But where are those kings now? Those kings are gone. There were some Nawab in Lucknow, they claimed that entire Lucknow belonged to us. The great king Akbar living in Delhi, he claimed whole India is mine. Aurangzeb claimed rulership over North India. He was trying to conquer South India, but Shivaji Maharaj ji, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, uh, protested and defeated bitterly Aurangzeb. So you see that so many kings came and they claimed this is my territory, this is that is my territory. But where are those kings gone? So don't engage in this hankering for wealth, lands, beautiful wife. Like Shiva Dandi Maharaj was telling you that if all your wealth is gone and still your bhakti is intact, then nothing is lost. But if you get all the wealth in the land, all the wealth, all the land, all the women in the world, and you have no bhakti, then it is a waste of time. If bhakti is there, then no loss. Everything is lost, still no harm. Like Shiva Dandi Maharaj is working for NASA. Now, obviously, he's working for NASA, he'll have very hefty pay package. He would have been earning very good amount of money. He could have been a millionaire, multi-millionaire by now. Even if he would have taken a very simple job, still he would have made millions of dollars. But I don't think that Maharaj has even one single penny in bank balance now in his name. Some money he has in the name of the trust for Goshala or Goswami. But Maharaj as such is penniless. He is completely penniless. He doesn't have any gold to his name, any cars like Mercedes Benz, which he would have had in America if he had stayed in that job. Nor so many beautiful girls would have been eager to marry him because he was such a highly educated. But now he has no wife, no sons. But only thing he has is Krishna Bhakti, Guru Bhakti, Go Bhakti, mood of service to Krishna. So Maharaj is not a loser. Although from material point of view, people will think that Maharaj is foolish. He has lost millions of dollars worth of job. So many people are hankering to get green card, American citizenship. He has American citizenship. There are so many degrees, software. He should work and make money, but his mind was not there. Understand? So the point I'm making is that when bhakti manifests in the heart, then all the four purusharthas, mundane sense gratification, economic development, liberation, all these appear insignificant. And if bhakti is there, automatically all other mundane achievements will be waiting for you at the gate. Bhakti svai stiratara bhagavan yadishyat daivena na falakate kishora murti mukti swayam kulitanjali sevate asman dharmartha kama gataya samaya pratiksha. If bhakti is there, then economic development, self-gratification, liberation, everything will be waiting for you with folded hands. So therefore, the devotee should not have any material hankerings. He should remain very peaceful. And he should not criticize anyone. Parasvabhava karmani na samshayet na garhayet vishwam ekatmakam pashyam. Don't criticize anyone, don't glorify anyone. See that the material world and material energy and Bhagwan, it is the play of Bhagwan and it is material. Bhagwan's Vedanga Shakti, Maya Devi, Durga Devi is making everyone dance. So don't criticize and don't see faults of others. If you try to point out faults among others, then those faults will enter your heart. Actually, Shyamarani was telling that some devotee, maybe Padmanabh Maharaj or someone, he used to speak long time. If he's given a microphone, I don't know whether it's Padmanabh or some other Maharaj. He used to speak on and on and on, not giving chance to other speakers. And Shamarani Prabhu said, I started criticizing some devotee like that. He was speaking long time, not giving chance to other devotees. Then she said that because I was seeing the fault in that devotee, soon that fault entered my heart. Then I also developed that nature. I would also not give chance to others to speak. Because when you have a platform, dais, then you have to share that microphone with everyone. Everyone should get some 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 15 minutes, depending on the number of the speakers. Srila Gurudev used to ring a bell or kartal so that to remind the speaker that he has to wind up and give way, make way for other speakers. Shamaraj was telling that because I was seeing the fault in some speaker, that fault entered my heart. So, for example, you spit or urinate on a live wire, then you'll get a current shock. So, like that, if you see the faults of others, they will start entering your heart. So, what devotees do? ये भयंकर आकृति वाले तमोगुणी, रजोगुणी, भूतों, प्रजापति और पितरों आदि की उपासना का त्याग करके भगवान श्री नारायण के अंश कलावतार की किया करते. So what devotees do? They give up the worship of ferocious ghosts who are in the mode of ignorance, mode of passion, who have very ferocious forms. They even give up the worship of Prajapatis, forefathers, and even the worship of progenitors. Because there are many types of ghosts. Ghost, Pishach, Betal, Brahmarakshas, Dakini, Shakini, so many types of ghosts are there. They are very ferocious forms. When Lord Shiva got married, you can read that description from Ramcharitmanas. So many ghosts of different shapes, with one head, two heads, and even without head. Imagine, so many ghosts are sitting for honoring Prasada. When Lord Shiva got married with Parvati, all the ghosts had to be paid. And all ghosts were sitting in a line for honoring Prasada. And Himalayas, maid servants and servants, they have to serve them. And first, Mena, Parvati's mother, was invited to serve jalebis, puris, kachoris, malpua. And she had on the plate many jalebis. But when she saw the recipients of prasadam, she dropped her plate and ran away inside. She was highly scared. Because some ghosts had 2 eyes, some had 3 eyes, some had only 1 eye in the forehead, and some had no eyes. Some had 5 heads, some had 2 heads, some had 1 head, and some had no head. Some ghosts had their head in the stomach. And so seeing this ferocious ghost as the attendants attending Shiva's marriage, everyone was scared in Himalaya. Understand? So devotees don't worship such ghosts. Although, so there was one man who started chanting Gopal Mantra, 18 syllable Gopal Mantra. Some sadhu gave him Gopal Mantra and also gave him Brahma Gayatri. He kept on chanting Brahma Gayatri. Then he didn't get perfection. He said, this mantra is not very powerful, Gopal Mantra and Gayatri. Then he went to one Kashi. Kashi, he saw one man who was actually what would I say? They eat the dead bodies, flesh of dead bodies. They are Aghori Baba. They saw one Aghori Baba wearing black clothes. Then that Aghori Baba, he saw him. Then he was sitting on the top of a tree, that devotee. And maybe he was cutting wood or something, and his axe fell down. So Aghori Baba came there and he told the devotee that, what do you want? He said, my axe has fallen down. But Aghori Baba lifted the axe and he extended his hand maybe about 25 feet and gave the axe back to the devotee who was cutting wood, something like that. So immediately the devotee came down from the tree and asked that Aghori Baba, how to get perfection? He said, you know one mantra of ghost, if you chant this mantra, you'll also get perfection very quickly. So I chanted the Gopal mantra and Gayatri mantra for a long time. I didn't get perfection. Let me chant this mantra. So he began to chant the mantra of that ghost. Then after some chanting for some days, the devotee heard some voice from behind. What do you want? What do you want? Tell me, I will give whatever you want. Means that ghost was pleased with him. Then he said, who is speaking to me? He said, I am ghost. You are chanting my mantra which Aghori Baba gave you. So I want to bestow upon you whatever you want. He said, if you are pleased with me, why don't you come before me, in front of me? Why are you talking from behind? Then that ghost told, I cannot come before you. Because we have chanted Gayatri mantra and Gopal mantra and all these powerful mantras, you have such effulgence, I cannot bear your effulgence. But I can bestow upon you all you want. But I cannot come before you. So the mantras of the ghost make you perfection very quickly, but those perfections are imperfect. Those perfections are trivial. Those siddhis are trivial. Like you may get a siddhi to walk over water or something like that. But if you get perfection in Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna mantra, Gopal mantra, then that is an eternal perfection. So we should not even worship progenitors. Why we worship progenitors? Because we want good progeny ourselves. We worship forefathers also. But give up all the worship of those progenitors and also your forefathers and worship Bhagwan Shri Narayana. You can worship Narayana himself, or if not, you can worship his incarnations like Hayagriva or Dhanvantari or Dattatreya. Any incarnation of Bhagwan Shri Krishna Narayana you can worship. Means you can worship the plenary portion of Narayana or the plenary portion of Narayana. But don't worship demigods and ghosts. Rajastamah prakritaya samashila bhajanti vai pitrubhuta pradesh tradeshadini shireshwara pradev savaha. किंतु जो रजगुणी और तमोगुणी स्वभाव के वे धन ऐश्वर्य और संतान की कामना से पितर भूत और प्रजापति आदि लौकिक फल प्रदान करने वाले अपने अपनी स्थिति पर उपासना किया करते हैं. But not everyone is in mode of goodness, right? Some people are in mode of passion and some are in mode of ignorance. So what do such persons do? They have desire for wealth, they have desire for opulence and children. So hankering for wealth. People in mode of passion and ignorance, hankering for wealth, hankering for opulence, gold, and wanting children, they start worshipping forefathers. Oh, if I worship my grandfather, grandmother, I will get a very good son. Or they start worshipping some ghost, that this ghost will show me some hidden wealth under my house, some secret wealth hidden by my forefather. Or they start worshipping progenitors. But what benefit these forefathers, ghosts, and progenitors bestow? They are material benefits. They bestow material results. But the problem is that इन लोगों का स्वभाव भी अपने इष्ट देवताओं से मिलता जुलता होता है. If you worship the demigods, then slowly your nature will become like the demigods. Understand? If that demigod you are worshipping is very angry, then you will also start becoming very angry. If that demigod is having any qualities, you will start developing the qualities of that particular demigod you are worshipping. If you are worshipping the ghost, slowly your nature will become like the ghost. Because you are absorbed in thinking of that particular object of your worship. But if you start worshipping Krishna, then you'll also start becoming transcendental like Krishna. So you will acquire the nature of your object of worship. If you think of something or someone all the time, you will start resembling that person. I have seen many times husbands and wife look similar because they are always thinking about each other and their thing of worries and concern are also the same. Because their thought pattern is identical, after some time of marriage, husband and wife start looking like brother sister. They start looking like each other. They are not really brother sister, but they are actually so much absorbed in each other's thoughts, and their worries are the same, their concerns are the same. So you are what you think. They say you are what you eat. That's correct. But you are also what you think. You start acquiring the quality of the object of your worship. Therefore, Bhagavatam tells us, Vasudeva para Veda, Vasudeva para Makha, Vasudeva para Yoga, Vasudeva para Kriya, Vasudeva param Jnanam, Vasudeva param Tapa, Vasudeva paro Dharmo, Vasudeva para Gati. चारों वेदों का तात्पर्य भगवान वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण. What is the conclusion of all the Vedas? Bhagwan Shri Krishna Vasudeva. Vedesha sarve ahamev vedya Vedanta kurveda vidyacha chaham. The purport of all the Vedas is Shri Narayan, Shri Vasudeva. So वेदों में उक्त समस्त यज्ञ यज्ञेश्वर श्री विष्णु की उद्देश्य से है. So all the sacrifices that are prescribed in the Vedas, they are also to satisfy the Lord of all the yajnas, sacrifices, Bhagwan Vishnu. We should know that Yoga Shastra भी Yoga Yogeshwar Shri Vishnu के उद्देश्य से ही है. All the Yoga Shastras, they are only meant for satisfying Vishnu, who is the Lord of all the Yogeshwaras. He is the Lord of all the mystics. Bhagwan Vishnu is the Lord of all mystics. Lord Shiva is Yogeshwara, best of the mystics. You'll see many times Lord Shiva closing his eyes, chanting on Rudraksha beads. What is he meditating on? He is meditating on Radharani, Krishna. But Krishna is superior even than the best Yogeshwaras like Brahma and Shiva. और योग शास्त्रों में कही गई क्रिया का तात्पर्य भी विष्णु भक्ति है. All the processes which are described in Yoga Shastras, they are only meant to cultivate Vishnu Bhakti. इसी प्रकार ज्ञान शास्त्र भी भगवान श्री वासुदेव को लक्ष्य करते हैं. All the scriptures of knowledge only point to भगवान श्री वासुदेव. ज्ञान और वैराग्य तपस्या भी हरि भक्ति के उद्देश्य से ही है. The aim and object of knowledge and renunciation is only to cultivate devotion for Lord Hari. All the scriptures which recommend charity and vows of austerity, the purport of such scriptures, the purport behind recommending charity and austerities and vows is to cultivate devotion for her. Because if you do give charity, one must develop Hari Bhakti. If you give charity to high class Vaishnava, like Sripad, Vandi Maharaj, or Shalil Prabhu, Gurudev, certainly Bhakti will come. Bhagavan will be very pleased. Or if you do the vow of Ekadashi or Janmashtami, Bhakti will only come. अतएव स्वर्गादि लोगों की प्राप्ति रूप अनित्य सुख का परित्याग करके हरि भक्ति रूप नित्यानंद ही जीवन का परम लक्ष्य होना चाहिए. So one should give up temporary happiness of attaining the heavenly planets, and one should try to obtain the eternal happiness of Hari Bhakti. That should be our goal. Because happiness one receives in the heavenly planets is temporary. While the happiness one receives in devotional service of Lord Hari is eternal. Saevedam sadajagre, Saevedam sasajagre, Bhagwan Atma Mayaya, Sadasadrupaya Chaso Gunamaya Aguno Vidhu. ऐसे भगवान स्वयं निर्गुण है. भगवान is devoid of the mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and mode of weakness. भगवान is beyond these three modes. He is निर्गुण. किंतु उनकी बहिरंगा शक्ति त्रिगुणमयी है. But this Maya Devi, she consists of three modes: mode of passion, mode of ignorance, and mode of. इसी के प्रारंभ में प्राणोदक्ष पुरुष के रूप में प्रथमता कार्य कारण वाली माया शक्ति के प्रति कर उस विश्व को सृष्टि करते हैं. So at the beginning of the creation, Bhagavan is reclining in the water of the ocean, as Vishnu. And Bhagavan will glance at his illusory potency, Maya. And at a glance of Bhagavan, Maya is agitated, and she creates this material world. She begins this material world. So Bhagavan's illusory potency is the effect and of both. Taya vilasate shiveshu puneshu gunavaniva antapradishavati vijnani. भगवान श्री वासुदेव अपनी कुछ शक्ति के प्रभाव से परम स्वतंत्र ईश्वर है. तो भगवान श्री वासुदेव is completely independent controller by spiritual potency. यह विचित्रता पूर्ण जड़ आकाश आदि प्रपंच में विश्व उनकी बहिरंगा माया शक्ति से उत्पन्न है. This material world is consists of five material objects: earth, water, fire, air, and air. This material world has so many varieties. So many varieties are present. I saw one video on YouTube. One person is selling a mango, 2 lakh rupees a kilo. It's a mango, he got a seed from Japan. The mango is very red. And he puts some hound dogs and security guards. But the mango is 2 lakh rupees kilo. So much varieties there in mangoes also. Jewels also. Now the temple is surrounded by so many jewelers. They will have so many types of precious stones, so many colors, so many carats, so many contours, and so many shapes, so much wonderful polishing. So much wonderful things are in this material world. But all this variety of matter is manifesting from Krishna's external energy, Juda Prakriti, Maya Shakti. पुनः इस विश्व में अंतर्यामी रूप से अनुप्रविष्ट होने के कारण ये भगवान सगुण के समान प्रकाशित होते हैं. So Bhagavan has entered this material world as indwelling super soul. Andantarastha Paramanu Chirantarastha. Bhagavan is the super soul of the material world and is also the super soul in the heart of all living beings. So Bhagavan is actually Saguna. Saguna means he is endowed with transcendental characteristics. But Bhagavan is, although he is within the Brahmanda, he is beyond the modes of material nature, mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. He is the second manifestation of Vidya Purush, Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Garbhodaksha Vishnu will enter into each Brahmanda and fill up half of that Brahmanda by sweat and recline in that Garbhodaksha. From his navel, lotus will come. In that lotus, Brahma will be seated and will create different universes from the ingredients present in the stem of the lotus. So here, the second Purusha, Karnodaksha and first Purusha, Karnodaksha Vishnu and Garbhodaksha Vishnu are discussed. So tomorrow's class will discuss the verse number 31, which describes Kshirodaksha Vishnu. So we are at verse number 31, 1.2.31. Please note it down, and I hope tomorrow we'll have class at 9 o'clock. Because today I had to come to the temple from Amit Krishna Prabhu's house, so temple is a little inside, so I'll begin at 10 o'clock. But tomorrow I'll be staying here only. So next till Ekadashi, Dwadashi, next Ekadashi, I'll be here. So there is no problem. I can give morning class. Tomorrow is also Thursday. And because we have switched our timing to morning, there is no problem. We'll have a free slot. Thank you so much. Haridanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namah. Dandavat. Hare.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Prams. Thank you so much.
Adya.